Good afternoon and welcome to our YouTube video on how to become an armed security officer in the state of Florida. This presentation is brought to you by North Florida Security Academy located at 870 Blountstown Highway in Tallahassee, Florida. Good afternoon. Private security licenses are regulated by the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs in accordance with the Florida Chapter 493. Security services do include bodyguard protection, bodyguarding property, transporting prisoners, providing armored car services, assisting in prevention of theft, and assisting in the prevention of misappropriated or concealed articles like shoplifting. To be eligible for a Class G armed security license in the state of Florida, you must have at least a Class D license for security officers. The G license is considered to be a companion license, which means in the security world, you have to have a Class D license. In the private investigation world, you can have a C or a CC license. You must be 18 years old and you must be a legal citizen of the United States or have been granted authority to work in this country by Homeland Security. Training and experience. The state of Florida requires that you complete a 28-hour range and classroom training pertaining to the use of firearms in connection with the regulated duties under 493. The training must be attained by a licensed K firearm instructor within the preceding 12 months. There are 4 exemptions that will help give you your classroom and range time. If you are a current law enforcement officer or correction officer in the state of Florida and you have completed your training requirements for certification within the last 12 months, proof that you are currently certified by a federal law enforcement agency and you have current training administered by that agency, proof that you qualify for a K licensed instructor in accordance with the requirement, and relative military training. Some military training will transfer into the civilian world. Your DD-214, basically you'd have to be a military police officer and have current qualification scores. The application for G must be submitted having the initial course of 28 hours. That 28-hour course is broke out into at least 12 hours will be spent on the legal aspects of use of a firearm. This section of the course covers all the applicable portions of chapters 493, 775, 776, 790, as well as we'll discuss the civil and criminal liability issues in connection with the use of a firearm. Operational firearm safety and firearm mechanical training, we will spend 8 to 11 hours. You will need to know how to use your firearm when you get to class. We will teach you a lot of firearm and firearm safety, as well as life-saving techniques and movement and tacticals. You will then be given a written test provided by the state of 100 questions. You must pass that test with at least a 70% or better. Then we'll be off to the range. Next day, we'll spend at least 8 hours. We can shorten it up depending on the K instructor and whether or not we can do some things in the classroom. We can shorten it up to about 4 to 5 hours. This segment of the training includes practical exercises in handling of a firearm, stance, grip, sighting, as well as topics pertaining to range safety and range commands. Annual renewal. Unlike the D license, you must renew and be requalified every year with the type and caliber that you carry. This annual training course will give you a review of the curriculum topics, review any current law changes, and give you an opportunity to qualify on the range. If the license holder, if you happen to fail the qualification after 3 attempts, You will need to seek remedial training and schedule another requalification attempt at a later date. According to Florida chapters, we can carry basically 2 different types of revolvers and 4 calibers of semi-automatics. The 2 caliber revolvers, we can carry the big 357, but we can only carry the 38 ammunition, and we can also carry a 38 caliber revolver. The 4 different semi-automatics, we can carry a .380, 9mm, 40, and 45. The G license is only authorized to carry the firearm to the specific type and caliber in which you qualify with your K instructor. You may carry no more than 2 firearms when performing your regulated duties. A licensed investigator, private investigator, or an intern who's 21 who has a G may then carry it in a concealed firearm when you are required by their duties and approved by the agency that employs that licensee. A security officer with a Class D and G must be 21 when they want to carry a firearm in a concealed manner while performing limited or special assignment. So if a D and G licensed officer wants to or needs to carry a firearm in concealed in plain clothes, non-uniform, you must be 21. The state, of course, can deny for many of the same reasons as the D license can be. Convictions of felonies that have not been more than 10 years from the final release and your civil rights restored. For this G, your civil rights will need to be restored so that you have the right to own and possess a firearm. Being a former felony in most areas in the state of Florida, you cannot possess a firearm. So you will need to get your rights restored. If you have demonstrated the lack of respect for the laws of the state and nation, you can be denied. Passing the course. Well, this course passing is never guaranteed. No K instructor will guarantee or shouldn't guarantee that you're going to pass this class. Each student will be responsible for reading and reviewing all course-related material. Your instructor is going to discuss the rules of firearm safety with you and expect you to strictly abide by these rules throughout the entire class. You will be required to attend all the classroom and lectures on all the topics. Complete the classroom training. That test is coming up, 70 questions. Then on range day, you will need to shoot from at least 15 yards during the course of fire. What do you need to mail to the state or turn in? Very simple. Once you pass the class, you will get a certificate of firearm proficiency. Documentation confirming your status as a U.S. citizen. Color photographs. You will need fingerprints, fees. Now, this is really nice of the state. The license fee is $112, but if you notice the fingerprint and the fingerprint retention fees, those 2 fees can be waived as long as you have submitted your D or another license within the last 6 months. No additional fingerprint submissions or fingerprint processing or retention fee will be necessary. So if you're applying for your D and G together, you can save $52.75. Veterans, thank you very much for your service. But the state of Florida would like to thank you as well. If you have a DD-214 and you are within 24 months of being discharged from any branch of the United States Armed Forces, you can have your fees waived from your classes and all of your renewals. Where to mail it? The Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs Service, Division of Licensing. The P.O. Box is listed there and on your application. Your firearm instructor in your academy should be able to give you the information that's necessary to make sure that you know what to do and give you an application. The training course, North Florida Security Academy, we do offer this course for only $150. It is an in the classroom course only. We can't do this one remotely. There are two additional fees, $10 for the range, which would be on the last day, and ammo. You will need 150 rounds of ammo. We do have a store, 2A Firearms, that keeps a supply of ammo just for our G students. See our schedule on our website at www.northflsecurityacademy.com or simply call our office at 850-692-2231. Our staff will be more than happy to help you and get you registered. Our lead instructor. Well, you know, every academy can say, well, I've got the best, but folks, we like to brag a little bit. Our lead instructor is Nicholas Cooley. He's got an MBA, a PhD, he's a certified protection officer. He's internationally and board certified. He has been teaching for more than 41 years. He has more certifications than most, with over 15 years in the private security industry. He holds every single state of Florida license, including being a firearm and unarmed instructor in Georgia and Alabama. He's been an agency owner. He holds pretty much every single NRA, law enforcement, handgun, shotgun instructor, and civilian instructor, including now the Chief Range Safety Officer. He is a member of the most elite international firearm associations for law enforcement. He is board certified in security, which he gives you the perspective from not just being trained by law enforcement. A lot of K instructors do have that law enforcement background, and they teach it as if they're in law enforcement. Folks, we are in security. There is a big difference between security and law enforcement and what we can and can't do. What Dr. Cooley allows you to do is learn from boots on the ground, from the people that have done it before. They have spent the hours and the days and the years and the weeks and the months on the ground as an armed security officer. They can give you that perspective as well as all of the laws and pertaining. Teach you the difference between making a good shoot and a bad shoot. You're going to get it firsthand experience from one of the leading experts in our industry. Sign up today, folks. Start your new career. The pay rates are going up. This is an exciting time for security. Exciting. The need for private security officers is going up. Folks, if you need to sign up, go to our website immediately, www.northfloridaflsecurityacademy.com. Folks, we look forward to seeing you in your class, and thank you very much for attending our little YouTube video. Stay tuned. We've got more coming.